If I had a few months to lean out and drop belly fat by summer, I would not waste my time on the things that most people are doing right now. I wouldn't be focusing on abs every single day, which seems the most obvious, but trust me, it does not work. I would not be cutting carbs, and I would not be doing endless cardio. That is not the formula here. And I say that because that is what keeps most people stuck. That is what they're doing. But you end up just feeling tired because you're overtraining and doing so much cardio, which exerts so much energy. You're also, of course, frustrated, right? And you end up having the exact same midsection. Why? Because you are not training smart. In fact, you are training harder, not smarter. But good thing, that is why I am here today to share with you 6 habits that you are going to nail down starting now that will actually help you drop belly fat and feel the most lean, strong, and confident in your bikini this summer than you ever have before. It's about doing the right things that actually change your body composition and reduce the things that make your stomach look more soft and inflamed. So let's get into it. The first thing I would shift immediately is your mindset around belly fat. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You cannot spot reduce fat. So it doesn't matter how many crunches you do, how many of my deep core workouts you do, your body will lose fat overall when you are losing weight and dropping fat. And typically, unfortunately, your stomach, depending on your body type and genetics, but typically for women especially, our stomach is one of the last areas to drop fat. I know it's annoying. For me, it's actually more my lower body. I find it easier to keep my midsection a little bit more lean, and I really have to put in the work for my lower body. But for a lot of women, it's the opposite, and their legs are leaner and their midsection is, more of their problem area. But this is one of the reasons why women feel so frustrated when it comes to dropping their belly fat. It's because they are putting all of their attention and energy into, again, ab workouts instead of following a full body approach, which is required to actually trim it down. So instead of obsessing over your stomach, I would zoom out and focus on dropping fat overall while building shape in the rest of your body, which is going to take me into point number 2. If I want to see real changes by summer, I would start being very consistent with progressive strength training. Now, what does that mean? So if you are currently using dumbbells and weights, that is great, but are you also focusing on progressive overload? So progressive overload means that we are increasing our weights over time, our intensity, our tempo, all of the things to make the workouts harder. If you've been using the same weights for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe you're maintaining, and if you're happy wherever you are at, that is perfect. But if you are trying to reshape and body recomp, you need to increase your weights. That is what is actually going to break down tissue, have your body rebuild and repair, and make your muscles more defined and also stronger. Muscle is what actually gives your body that toned and sculpted look. Don't worry, you are not going to get bulky. I could do a whole video just on that. When you have more muscle in more shape, so say you're working your upper body, you're working your lower body, your waist inevitably is going to look smaller and you are going to drop fat from your midsection. Without actually incorporating this piece, so without doing the strength training component, maybe you're just focusing on cardio and Pilates. Yeah, you may lose some weight, but most likely you are going to still be a little bit soft and maybe stuck in that skinny fat cycle, which again, trust me, I was there for a very long time. I wasn't following a structured program and I wasn't getting the results that I really wanted. But once I made that switch, that is when everything changed. So what is the perfect formula? Well, what I recommend is following my strength and Pilates method on my app Shape. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are doing 3 strength training sessions. Tuesday is mobility and Pilates and core. Thursday is full body Pilates. Saturday is rest. And then we have an additional optional workout on Sundays. If you want to do 4 days of strength training, you can even put in a sculpt in that day on Sunday, or instead of taking a rest day, you could also do it on Saturday, depending on how your body feels. But whether it's with me or with someone else, find a professional that will give you the proper guidance with building strength, and stop trying to wing it yourself at the gym, or even worse, stop just focusing on eating less, Pilates, and cardio, because trust me, you need that muscle in order to reshape and seriously drop fat. If I wanted to lean out without burning out, I would start focusing on my steps and make it a non-negotiable in my everyday. Walking, as we know it, because I talk about it a lot, is such an amazing tool for fat loss. And I might sound like a hypocrite because I just talked about how we don't want to just focus on cardio, and we don't want to completely take cardio out of the equation, but we still do want to incorporate it into our routine in a very low impact way. This is one of the simplest and most realistic habits that we can start literally changing right now. Like, go outside and literally listen to the rest of this video while you are walking, or maybe it's on a treadmill, whatever it is. Walk around even your house watching this video. We can make that change almost immediately and start feeling and seeing the benefits of it even after a couple weeks, especially if you take your steps from, if you're currently only getting 2,000 or 3,000 a day and take it to even 7,000, 8,000, you will see the difference and you will see it fast. A lot of women think that they need to do intense cardio, they need to do running in order to really see those results, but you do not need to destroy your body with intense cardio every single day. I used to run and run and run, not because I enjoyed it, and if you enjoy running, that's a whole other conversation that we can have. Yes, keep doing your thing, keep running if it feels good for you, that's great and amazing, but don't just run because you think that it's going to make you smaller, skinnier, have less of a belly. That is not how it works. When we put more stress on an already stressed out system, you're actually gonna get the reverse effects. You're going to store, you're going to hold on, and your body is not going to feel safe enough to let go and shed. Instead, our bodies need consistent movement that is still going to help put us in a slight deficit without feeling like we're doing extremes or constantly dieting. This is why, of course, walking is great, because it does exactly that. If you're hitting 10K steps a day, that's an extra 400 to 600 calories that you are burning. Hello, that is amazing. But on top of that, it also really does help regulate your nervous system. It helps with stress relief. There are so many other benefits that do come with walking, and it plays a much bigger role in fat loss than people even realize. When it comes to nutrition, I wouldn't overcomplicate it, but I also wouldn't ignore it. And I think that that is kind of the issue that people have. They're either way too relaxed with it or they're way too intense, and none of those approaches are great solutions for long term. If my goal was to lose belly fat by summer, I would focus on protein at each and every meal so that my body has what it needs to build the muscle. Our body needs protein in order to build muscle and also stay full throughout the day. So when I am eating 3 meals throughout the day that are high protein focused, I am not even thinking about food. I'm not thinking about snacking, adding in those extra calories. I'm really just getting my nutrients and hitting my macros with 3 solid meals. That is when I feel my best. That is when I am most energized. And when I am even say over the weekend, I'm indulging, enjoying, drinking, staying out late, all of that. And then Monday I reel it back in. And even after 3 days of being super consistent again with my workouts and my diet, I feel such a difference in my body. My inflammation is lower, the bloating is gone, and I thrive there. That is what actually motivates me to stay consistent with my diet and eat healthy and in a way that is sustainable. It's because of how it makes me feel. But of course, it gives me the results as well. Of course, protein is important, but we also do want to focus on whole foods. I'm not saying to hit your grams of protein every single day with processed garbage just to like hit that macro. We do still want to focus on nutrient dense whole foods. You absolutely do not need to cut carbs or entire food groups in order to see results. I probably also eat more carbs now than I ever did before. I'm having carbs multiple times a day. For example, I'll have like a piece of toast or half of a bagel for breakfast. I'll have rice with dinner. For lunch today, I'm probably gonna have canned tuna with some leftover sweet potato from yesterday. So complex carbs are good. If we're working out and following the structured program on Shape, we also want to make sure that we are fueling appropriately, because when we are eating in a way that supports our workouts, it gives us a lot more energy to show up and actually be consistent. So let's dial in on that nutrition. Nothing too complicated, but also don't be too relaxed. And if you do also need additional support, I have very simple, easy to follow meal plans on Shape. I'm gonna make sure to link everything below. We're actually in a summer body challenge right now. That is all of April and May. We're gonna have something else for June, and then another challenge for August and July. So whenever you see this video, just know that we always have a program to jump into. We have the resources, the workouts, and if it's easier for you to like follow a meal plan, I also got you. I'll make sure to link everything below. Next, I would, of course, still train my core, but not with the mindset that ab exercises are going to completely like be the only thing that's going to burn my belly fat. I would have a way different approach, because this is where people go wrong. It would be a major disservice to you as a trainer doing this for over 10 years, helping thousands of women lose weight and drop their belly fat, if I told you, yes, only do my ab exercises for the next 2 months and you're gonna get that 6-pack. Again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, that's not how it works. Instead, I would focus on strengthening my deep core so that I hold my midsection tighter and also get it more controlled and stable. This means slowing things down, focusing on tempo and control, not rushing through reps. I see people all the time like doing exercises and not focusing on the stability aspect. When we have proper form and proper alignment and we slow things down, our core is automatically going to be more engaged, which, by the way, also improves your posture, pulls that waist in, and just gives you that overall feeling of being leaner and lighter. I'm sorry it's not as flashy as doing 100 sit-ups, but it is 1,000 times more effective if you do actually want to get your tummy flatter. The last thing I would focus on is tightening up my daily micro habits, because what we are doing day to day really does affect how our tummy looks. So if we are constantly bloated, inflamed, if we're stressed out, if we're inconsistent with our morning routine, our nighttime routine, that is going to impact our midsection. You're going to most likely be retaining more water. You're going to throw your digestion off if you're stressed. And I mean, that happens to me on days that I have like a lot of stress. I can feel my tummy more bloated by the end of the day. Like, it's a real thing. And you're also in general just going to have more inflammation. So what do? We make sure that we are consistent with the habits every single day that, number one, help us flush out water, help with lymphatic drainage, but also habits that help with stress management. I personally think what we do in the morning is the most important. So I love to start my day with lemon water. This morning I had bone broth. Sometimes it is celery juice, something that is going to wake up and fire up your digestive system and your gut. I do really love something warm and cozy. So even if I am having celery juice, what I actually do is let it get to room temperature first before drinking it. Sometimes if you have like something really cold in the morning, like an ice glass of water, it can be really shocking for your system. That is like a little tip from Chinese medicine. So I would start there, even if it's just room temperature water with lemon. I am always making sure that I'm consistent with my supplements. So having a probiotic for me is really important to just help keep my gut in check. From there, adding in whether it's a meditation, 5 minutes on the vibration plate, maybe a 10-minute walk, or jumping right into a workout. Again, with that stress management, with calming the nervous system, setting the body up, getting you ready for your day ahead. And these are the habits that are so important to feel grounded every single day. And you're probably thinking, well, how does this relate to having a flat tummy? Like, How does, doing a meditation relate to dropping belly fat? I promise that if you are living in a constant state of stress, and I mentioned this before, it will be 1,000 times harder to drop that belly fat. It may even just be that last 5 pounds that you are trying to lose, and it's stress that is keeping you there. When we take control of our actions and we incorporate the habits that make us feel the most peaceful, the most calm, that is when the results will come. So lock in on your micro habits every single day. Make sure you're setting yourself up for success, and know that your routines, your mornings especially, they matter more than you think. So really try to be consistent and figure out the habits that work best for you. So if you are truly serious about dropping that belly fat for summer, just know it's not about doing more or doing more random workouts or going to more workout classes. It's about locking in on the right habits. I hope that this was helpful for you, because belly fat is a pain point that I know so many women have. I get asked about it all the time. You guys are asking specifically, like, what can I do? What are the habits? What are the things? And if you follow the structure, the program, the nutrition, the walking, everything, if you combine it all together, I promise that in 2 months, you will see and feel a change. If you want like a major before and after, I'm going to be, again, real with you. Give it 6 months to a year, but I know that in time for summer, you can see that change if you lock in and are consistent. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other tips or advice for the community, please let us know in comments. We'd love to hear. Thank you as always for being here, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.